So on Zeta specifically, I was just looking on a 4-hour time frame, and I could identify back when we were trading off the open yesterday around 29, right? I could see this support area at 27.20. I was keeping an eye on the average daily range. I also had my algo on this chart, and then at the same time, we started during pre-market. We pushed. We were up like 6-7%. We opened slightly green, and then we sold off like 3% immediately. And so I took that as like, okay, this is definitely playing out as I, hoped. You could see pre-market highs, 30.33. We almost traded back up to our entry during pre-market. Our entry was around 30.45. So we traded up toward our entry during pre-market, came all the way back down, opened, sold off 3%. I saw this clear level of support. And at the same time, I was looking on my other chart, and, I was looking at the daily time frame, obviously that support area there, and I had this algorithm applied, my trade management algo applied, and I got an exit signal. And so like all those things taken into consideration, I just got out. Okay, got out of the trade, was happy with 53% profit, like a great trade. Yes, these contracts ended up continuing to, go up throughout the day. I mean, this thing sold off 30% yesterday. So it would have been the difference between a 50% trade and a 200, almost 50% trade. So I could have made a lot more. However, you can never look back, and as long as you stuck to your plan, you can never say that. You can never regret getting out for a profit. It's a better trade if you stuck to your plan and you got out, and even for a loss, as long as you stick to your plan. I say it's a better trade even if you lose money versus if you make money, if on the trade when you lost money, you stuck to your plan. It's always going to be a better trade in my opinion, as long as you stick to your plan. So I stuck to my plan. I got out according to like all these different signs I was looking at on this chart. And, this thing just continued to pull back. So no regret, right? If you're looking at this chart and if you're thinking, oh, I could have made so much more. And I saw a couple of you did hold, and that's great as long as that was part of your plan. You always got to have that plan in place. You never know what will happen. The opposite could have happened. We could have actually bounced off of, that 27. We could have kept pushing yesterday, and we could have, come right back up, been break even, dipped into the red, and this thing could have, continued to rebound. But it didn't. Doesn't matter. Just try to avoid looking at a chart after you get out of the trade. Just stick to your plan. At the end of the day, that's all we can do is go into a trade with a plan and stick to it. So I thought I'd just kind of recap that. Obviously, just a psychological struggle there that you'll run into as a trader. And a couple more things I want to talk about as we kind of keep an eye on the market here. And we'll keep an eye on the software as well, and we'll see if anything else comes in this morning. But I wanted to talk about pre-market and aftermarket. I remember I was thinking back the other day when I started trading, how I was like obsessed with looking at aftermarket. As soon as the market closed, if I had a trade on, I would check the aftermarket up until 8 p.m. Eastern when, the aftermarket session closes. And then as soon as I'd wake up, I'd check the pre-market, like obsessively until the market opens. And this is something that, especially as swing traders, we just don't have control of. We can't do anything about what happens aftermarket or pre-market. It's easy to say, so don't look at it, right? It doesn't matter. But in reality, I've seen many times where, the aftermarket session, let's say, will look very red, and I'm in some calls, and pre-market will look very red. And then minutes before the open or on the open, all of a sudden everything just changes and the market opens, the stock has rebounded, and I'm totally fine. And I just spent the last, hours last night and in the morning stressing, looking, oh no, we're red. So just don't look at the pre-market and don't look at the aftermarket. I'm serious, don't do it. This is another example. Like on Zeta, the same thing happened. We ended up pushing. You could see this was the open of the pre-market, and at the peak during pre-market, Zeta was up 7%. So if I had woken up and I had been looking, this would have just been like terrible to watch this, knowing that I was in shorts, knowing that my entry was here at 30.45. And then just to find out that if I had just opened the market and looked at 9:30, we would have opened and I would have been totally fine. I mean, this thing opened essentially flat. So there was no point in stressing over what happened here or what happened here. Same thing as the aftermarket. It's like during aftermarket, we started slowly kind of pushing trading, working our way up, kind of working our way up back toward our entry. And then pre-market, it would have been like, oh shit, no, we're almost up to our entry. There's going to be a rough day on the open. Like, just stressing about the pre-market and aftermarket is so pointless. Just don't do it. Open like your TOS, your phone, whatever, when the market opens, and see what's happened, because you'll see like how, this looked like we were going to be in a lot of trouble off the open. It opened, we were great, it sold off, and we made 50%. Versus like at this point, we would have essentially been break even if we opened up here. But you just never know. So that will help you. I think kind of the theme today is like avoiding, I guess, talking more about psychology, talking more about trading psychology, which is what I want to do, because it's so important. It's something that gets overlooked a lot. So, from the perspective of getting out of a trade, even though you followed your plan, you made money, but you looked back on the trade and you saw you could have made more. Don't look back, like don't look at past trades, right? Once you get out, don't look at the chart, just move on. And then same thing, pre-market and aftermarket, just don't even look at the pre-market, don't even look at the aftermarket. Like, those two things are gonna remove so much stress out of your trading as a whole. And trading is really stressful. And so the more things we can do to reduce the amount of stress and toll that trading has on us, the better.